Watch newspaper headlines, The Limelight, Mondays to Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Watch, like, subscribe, and make sure your notification is activated on our YouTube channel. You can also like and comment on our pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. National issues that concern Nigeria and also that of the state can be heard on the Periscope. The Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio with the host Fisayomi Ajibola every weekdays, Mondays to Fridays, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. You won't want to miss it. Lovely and beautiful morning once again right here on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. The first day in the month of May 2023. Welcome to Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. And this morning, definitely on Periscope, you know, we'll always bring to you topical issues, deliberate on interactive topics, discussions, you know, just to have a very fantastic interaction together right here on Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. And because today is the first day in the month of May and we are celebrating to commemorate with workers, Nigerian workers on Workers' Day, also known as Labor Day or May Day, we'll be looking into and we will be holistically, you know, discussing what even the Workers' Holiday or Workers' Day holiday is all about and the effect, the significance, and of course towards the development of our great country, Nigeria. So welcome to Periscope once again on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. And trust me, we are always ecstatic. We are always happy that you are following us and you are always right on the other side to watch all our programs and to comment and to like and also subscribe. Really appreciate that. My name is MODUPE AKINYOSOYE. Welcome once again to Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. All right, this morning, like earlier stated, that we'll be looking into activities of Workers' Day, the May Day today, the first day in the month of May 2023. And a whole lot of side or aspect it is we will be looking into today. Workers' Day definitely is celebrated you know, on May 1st as a public holiday in Nigeria, and it is part of International Workers' Day, which is celebrated across the world, also known as Labor Day or May Day, and is marked with a public holiday in over 80 countries. You see how important and significant it is, right, to celebrate. And this holiday is actually most, you know, commonly associated with or as a commemoration of the achievement of the labor movement, basically. And in Nigeria, you know, some people take part in nationwide marches and rallies in several parts of the country. And of course, as we are doing in the studio this morning, to also, you know, play our part, or you know, in celebrating or commemorating Workers' Day. And of course, you know, workers' biggest concerns, you know, are normally for an increase in the, you know, minimum wage, and end to workers being, you know, left unpaid for months, their welfare, you know, the need for government action to address the high unemployment rate of recent years, and the need to move Nigeria off of over dependence of petroleum export. A whole lot of things, because it is not just a celebration. It is not just an off day for us to just stay at home and then, maybe have a couple of pots of chicken and turkey. Just no, it has a significance. So what are the significance? What are the effect is what we are going to be looking into this morning. And in the studio, I have with me at my left hand side, Honorable Ayo Miami. He's a public affairs analyst. He's let me not say politician, but he is definitely being the best position to do this with me this morning, talking about the commemoration of Workers' Day. Good morning and welcome.
Yes, good morning, MODUPE.
And happy Workers' Day.
Yes, happy Workers' Day, happy new month to you, to all our listeners and our viewers at home. Happy new month to you all, and happy International Workers' Day.
All right, we should say, of course, Honorable Miami is his name. Okay, so talking about Workers' Day, in as much as Nigeria celebrates Workers' Day, there is still need for revamping the working sector over the years, right from 1981, when May 1st has been, taken as a holiday for workers. We need to look into, we need to holistically dissect, the essence, because basically when we talk about government can't work on its own. They have people that government is people
Definitely.
to make a better nation, so to say. And some people don't even know, the importance and significance of this historical celebration. Even some so-called workers and their unions, and why should workers be celebrating Workers' Day when the workers themselves are suffering from bad welfareism, poor salaries and bonuses in different sectors, and states of the country. There is poor salaries, scale and bonuses, irregular payments of salary, which of course all these complaints are not just now. They have been, and of course we are hoping for better change. But just aside that, the neglect of workers, welfare, poor governance and management towards workers. But the story of workers demanding, for their rights is not actually alien, it's not new. Like I earlier said, to the employees of the Nigerian government. The Nigerian civil servants have over the years been playing important roles in ensuring that government policies result in tangible services for Nigerians, and the various labor unions, under the two major umbrella bodies of Nigerian Labour Congress and the TUC, Trade Union Congress, have demonstrated maximum tenacity in demanding for the right of Nigerian workers. And whenever negotiations fail, peaceful demonstrations, protests, strike, this and that will be taken. But in the light of all this, of what significance do you envisage or think this demonstration is towards a significant impact to the development of the country?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, let me take our listeners through memory lane,
Please do.
scanning through the history of history. Most nations of the world see May 1st as a recognized day to celebrate the workers. Some nations of the world. More importantly, which Nigeria is not, excluded.
Left behind.
But let me put it straight to us this morning that in some countries of the world where we celebrate Workers' Day, it is marked with a major achievement celebration.
Right.
It is a day set aside to really to commemorate the effort of the laborers. Of the labor union, the labor force, the workers, respectively. I could remember, I think in the year 1886, if I'm not mistaken, in the United States of America, I think majorly in the 19th century, the rise of major industries, what birthed the industrialization in America. Then the workers were made to work in a not friendly work atmosphere. And they were made to work, say, 10 to 15 hours a day. And as if that's, was not enough. They were paid meager salaries. The pay is not incommensurate to the labor. Do you understand? And this went on over the years, but it came to a time when the workers, they came together to talk about this. What exactly is the problem? Why are they, underpaying them for the work done? So they staged a peaceful, protest. They raised their voices in protest. We cannot continue to work hard and hate this, the work environment is not even, commendable. So we want a change. So the desired change they agitated for, didn't come on a platter of gold. At some point, some of the workers were apprehended. A peaceful protest. They were tried in the court of law, and some of them were sentenced to life imprisonment and even death sentence. So this was what aggravated the anger of the rest of the workers. So they came together, they staged a union, and they fought, a peaceful protest turned violent. So it got to a point, the government could not contain their excesses. They had to invite them, their leaders, for negotiation. And to the glory of God, I think year 1889 precisely, they got it. The government danced to their tunes. From 10 to 15 hours a day, the time work frame was reduced. They fought for the reduction, and that was the genesis of the International Workers' Day we celebrate today. From 15 hours to 8 hours a day. And the remuneration also jacked up. So that was what, gave birth to what we call a day we celebrate today, the Labor Day. Some call it May Day, some call it Labor Day, some call it International, Workers' Day. As it were, that was what, laid the foundation of what we celebrate today. Now, back to Nigeria. In 1980, as it were, the People Redemption Party were the one that started the mission, the journey of, of celebrating the workers in Nigeria. And I could remember that happened in, the movement happened in Kano State.
Yes.
A year after, the federal government looked into it. I said, wow, if you could organize and state this and recognize it and organize it to be a workers' day celebration, then let's make it national. Let it be a national celebration. And that was how the federal government adjusted it, made it a day worthy of celebration, of celebrating the workers in 1980. And ever since then, any government in power recognizes that day, May 1st, to join the host of other nations.
Over 80 countries.
Although it's not all the nations that celebrate in the same day.
Yes.
The date differs. You understand. But then, that was what led to the celebration. But looking at it holistically, as it were in the advanced nation, it's not so in Africa, most especially in our dear country, Nigeria. what we are celebrating today is not really a celebration for the workers. It's not the workers that, a celebration. In the advanced clan, what they do is this. They organize the workers.
Okay.
The labor union, the government stage an award ceremony event for them to celebrate those worthy of promotion, those work differs, designation differ. So what I'm saying in essence is this: they use it to promote, to motivate, to encourage them, to put them more to the development of the nation. But is it the same thing in our dear country today? No. What we are celebrating today in Nigeria is not incommensurate to what the labor force had contributed to the development of this great country, Nigeria. As I speak to you, the welfareism and the well-being of government workers in Nigeria, wow, to some extent. I know of a state, or let me say some states that are up and doing, even if they are not at their best, but to some extent we could say they have done, we can commend the effort of the state government for doing wonderfully well in promoting the work ethics of the workers. So as I speak to you, we still have some states in Nigeria that have not, started paying the new minimum wage, which President Muhammadu Buhari signed to law in April 2019, to be precise. Now the thing is this: the question is, the state governors keep, shifting blames to their poor remuneration. I mean, the state internally generated revenue. But when it comes to government spendings, they don't negotiate that. They don't look at the poor, internally generated revenue. They don't cut, cost, expenditure when it comes to government functions. But when it comes to paying, taking care of the workers that are generating the income for the state, the story starts. What we are saying is this. Say, for example, the Nigerian police force. I've been privileged to visit their barracks. MODUPE, as I speak to you, I know of Air Force Base, their barracks. I give it to them. Okay. Most beautiful, most neat Air Force barrack, military barrack that I've ever seen so far. Should anyone tell me that the conduct of, the Nigerian Air Force, as in one of the armed, forces in Nigeria, the treatment is quite different from others? No. But I don't know how they do theirs. But the thing is, if most of the barracks we have in the Nigerian police force, it's not commendable, then what is happening? What is the responsibility of the government? Look at their salaries. A man that you have acquired, a woman you have acquired to safeguard the lives and properties of your citizen, and is underpaid, and you want such person to lay his or her life down in service, and sometimes that is why I don't blame them. I don't blame the Nigerian police officers.
So, sorry to interject you, because we still go deep into the welfare of workers. But you earlier stated that the way we celebrate Workers' Day, it's not the way the actual celebration should go. Citing, given that it is the government that is supposed to, and then appreciate these workers. What do you think for Nigeria, or basically Africa or Nigeria specifically? What do you think is responsible for that? Is it the federal? Is it the government that is not doing as expected, or the workers are not giving as expected, and why we have the other side, or contrary to the celebration that we're supposed to have, the government appreciating the workers? Because at Abuja now, Eagle Square, workers are, being told to come around. They want to agitate, talk about welfare, talk about this, of which the celebration should be the other way around. Federal government appreciating workers. What do you think is responsible?
Yeah, thank you, MODUPE. On this day, it has always been inviting the workers to Eagle Square, for the national assignment, for the states, mostly the national stadium, in the states. And they keep talking, the government keep giving empty promises that, that will never be fulfilled. On this day, year in, year out, government makes empty promises, as it were. Apologies to nobody. On this day, the union leader at the national level, the president of Nigerian Labour Force, would address his colleagues. Yes, at this point, so far, this is what we've been able to do. So far, this is what we've been able to achieve. As I speak to you, dear colleagues, these are our expectations from the government. These are our anticipations. As I speak to you, what should we be expecting in the nearest future? The man or the personality in charge, in the helm of affair, the leadership, be it in the states as the chairman of the state chapter, or be it the national president of the union, would see it as a point of responsibility to charge, encourage, motivate his colleagues. And on this day, when we have the state governors, say the president of the nation would invite the host of the union Congress and the host of others to the stadium, to Eagle Square, to address them, to talk to them. Well, we've been saying this year in, year out, and this is not even the laid down principle or the set goal of celebrating workers. When you want to celebrate someone, it comes with surprises,
different appreciation channels.
Thank you, but it is being done in the other way around in my dear country.
Does he interpret that the government doesn't appreciate the people that work for them?
It is not so. Not that the government...
or they are not just willing.
The thing is this.
Or they are incapacitated, so to say, or there is no fund.
We have a tradition in this country. Part of this tradition, I call it lack of maintenance culture. One. The two, the avenue of our leaders, our political office holders, top governmental office holders are not transparent in the dealings with the people until begin to have a mindset of people that will not take a kobo from the coffers of the state treasury at the national level, that will say, so far my administration has been able to generate so amount for this month, and so amount has been paid for salaries, so amount has been channeled to execute projects, so be transparent. The transparency in governance make a lot of things work together.
So the workers will even understand.
The workers will understand. Even there's no money in the coffers, they understand that, you know what? We got to be patient with the government. But as things stand, it is contrary to what we should be dispensing, to what government should be dispensing to the workers. Let me cite a case study here. couple of years ago, precisely in 2016, it was His Excellency, the former governor of Ogun State, that was in charge. I think 11 days after the NLC protested, the then state chairman, Comrade Ambali, Akim Ambali, was sacked alongside the chairman of the Nigerian Union of Teachers. I think Comrade, what's his name now? Ilekoya also, Dari Ilekoya, was also suspended alongside some of the top, executive, office holders in the union. And the question is, for what? Ambali was accused, along others, of, how am I going to put it now? Of dishing out, how am I going to put it now? A statement that could undermine the credibility of the state government. I think it was, during the electionary activities. I think towards 2015 or thereabout. Because he was in charge from 2015 to, I think, to 2023, to this year, before Comrade Ahmed, what's it called now, came on board. Comrade Ahmed Ademola is the new chairman of NLC, Ogun State chapter. In 2016, he was alleged of dishing out scandalous, statements to undermine the credibility of the state government there. And at some point, the host of other colleagues, antagonized the decision of the state government. And what happens? You and I could recall that it was towards the tail end of that administration that he was reinstalled. So why am I saying all this is because what are the imports of workers fighting for their rights? It's their right. As I speak to you, some of the state government are still paying 18,000 minimum wage, which is not wage, it's not supposed to be. On the average, a Nigerian, according to statistics or research, that an average Nigerian live below $2 a day. $2 a day.
Per day.
Do you understand? And what's the rate of $1 now? I think, if I'm not mistaken, around 460 or thereabouts. That is, the official price. The black market, I think, around 730, 740, 750, going back and forth. But the thing is this: if a Nigerian, an adult, as the economy of the country is today, as I speak to you, the prices of the goods and commodities are now on the increase, how can you expect an adult to feed for nothing less than 1,000 naira for the whole 3 square meal a day? These are questions that those in the aim of affairs should look into. The welfareism, the well-being, the total well-being of the workers is highly sacrosanct. It cannot be traded for anything.
Well, talking about the well-being, welfare, and a whole lot of that.
Just a minute, please.
Okay.
If the government, I wish they rose to their responsibilities. My dear sister, we are richly blessed in this country. A government can offer or can afford to pay a minimum wage of 100,000. It's just because the insincerity on the part, quote unquote, of our political office holders.
All right. In the light of welfare packages and well-being of workers, and let's try to relate the past 8 years of the outgoing administration, because even the labor unions in their scoreboard, scored the regime and state governors low, saying that they, pauperized workers and inflicted hardships on Nigerians. workers, suffering job losses, insecurity, economic hardship, and other, calamities, and also lamented the galloping inflation in the country, which they said had eroded, the 40% pay rise that outgoing president recently, assented to or approved by the federal government, with effect from January. But in all of this, what is your honest view on this? Does it mean that the federal government has not in any point tried its best, so to say, this outgoing administration in the last 8 years, for the betterment of workers generally in the country?
Yeah, thank you. To be honest, President Muhammadu Buhari has really tried in his own capacity.
When you say try, because it's just like a talking drum.
I'm still
Why some? Oh, okay.
Yes, I like a talking drum. Yes, thank you. I love that insinuation. It's faces. Some people
how it faces differs the way it
differs,
faces.
Thank you. See, government alone cannot solve our problems. That is why we keep calling on, those that God has richly blessed in this nation to also partner with the federal government, with the state government, to alleviate poverty in the land. Why I'm saying all this is because in terms of infrastructure, I will give it to President Muhammadu Buhari. He has really tried in its own capacity. I could recall back in the years when our roads are dilapidated, denudated to some point that those traveling on the highways, Lagos to Ibadan, a journey that is meant for 45 minutes or thereabout, you can
close
spend
to 2
to 3 hours. But when you journey on that, when you ply the road now as I speak to you, it's as if there is no, you journey smoothly.
Not all the roads.
Not to some extent, although it will be completed anytime soon. But the thing is this, look at the railways. Now I could say, oh, dear friend, I will be in Lagos in the next 1 hour, 30 minutes. The guy would ask, how you want drive? You want
How
fly?
do you want to transport?
You use the rail, transportation means. And so doing, that has also reduced traffic on the road. Linking one state to the other. To that, I give it to President Muhammadu Buhari. He has also tried on the issue of insecurity. He has improved the security architecture of the nation. The government of Muhammadu Buhari was the one that signed the increment salary of the Nigerian police force, because it was part of what the NSAS protest agitated for.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So, as I speak to you, if I'm not mistaken, maybe some, because I heard some of the officers received the pay rise, the salary increase, but I wouldn't know for now if it has cut across all ranks of the Nigerian police force. But as I speak to you on that, President Muhammadu Buhari has tried also to other paramilitary and the military, our armed forces. But on the area of the welfareism and the total well-being of the Nigerian police force, that is my area of concern. That is where I want the federal government led by President Muhammadu Buhari to also work on. In the next couple of days, a lot of things can still be put together. Because I see no reason why a man or a personality that is meant to protect, safeguard my life and my properties is seen on the road, not minding his business, doing another business. Like some will say, it is not the business of the government to do business. Do you understand? So it's it's annoying to some extent. You know, you can't say you want to massage the ego of a Nigerian police force, you know, without paying him a commensurate salary. Someone who wants to lay his life to protect the citizens. No, it's not done. On that welfareism, I think the government
should do better.
Should do better.
All right.
But holistically,
okay,
the government still not doing what they should to make the life of that, workers better.
Talking about what the government should do, we'll definitely, holistically look into that after this short break. Still Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio, and definitely we are talking about the commemoration of Workers' Day, Labor Day, May Day, whichever day you want to call it.
MODUPE ojú mi ń ṣe kámikàmì èmi ni ó rà èmi ni ó mú mi ẹlẹ́sìn tẹ gbòógì làbíà hijab àti àbáyà lóríṣiríṣi House of Zion gbogbo aláfẹ́ tún gbayì tó fẹ́ wọṣọ yàmú ló ń kọjá lọ sí House of Zion. House name I know when we talk of top-notch fashion, quality mass class. House of Zion. Egypt and Malaysia clothing, designer bags, lóríṣiríṣi tó jìnnà tí wọ́n fa wọ original ṣe. Àkájọ wákàtí glasses and perfumes pẹ̀lú àwọn gbogbo nǹkan ló gbà. Mo débẹ̀ ojú mi ń ṣe kámi èmi rà èmi ni gbogbo ẹ̀yin mùsùlùmí ẹlẹ́sìn ń pa fashion. Tẹ wá nílò jàlábíà, hijab àti àbáìṣe. House of Zion lẹ́ò ti rí gbogbo ẹ̀rà. House of Zion wà ní Fífògo Road adjacent Pay Parish Ọlọ́run Ṣògo Abẹ́òkúta. We Instagram House of Zion 065688618. House of Zion jàtà tí ń tojúlówó aṣọ àti nǹkan aṣaralóge.
Thank you so much. It's still Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Welcome back. And of course, we are always dedicated and committed to bring to you the best, great content right here on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. And we are still talking about Workers' Day, International Workers' Day, Labor Day, May Day, or different aspects to this. And of course, what we're expecting, of workers' affairs, so to say, at least in the next couple of years. And I still have in the studio with me Honorable AKINYOSOYE. He's a public affairs analyst, and of course he has been sincerely, holistically, given his view on the discussion this morning. So back to the discussion. Before we talk about what the government is supposed to do, especially the incoming government now, let's quickly talk about the employable unemployed in the country, unemployed Nigerians in the country. This has been an everyday debate, and talked about. Even sometimes, I think 2019, the senior special assistant to the president on National Assembly matters, Senator Ita Enang, on behalf of the administration, divulged the extremely worrisome situation of Nigerians who are qualified to be employed, but they are yet unemployed. Emphasizing the fact that it is impossible for the government to engage every Nigerian in civil service, but something needs to be done. How do you think the government should effectively tackle this situation?
Thank you. MODUPE, to be transparent with you this morning, if the government would solve our problems in this country, the citizens also has a role to play. And how do I mean? It is often said that a round peg should be put, should be subscribed, should be inserted in a round hole and not a square peg put in or inserted in a round hole. It can work. Couple of months ago, I was privileged to be in a radio station. That radio station has a sports lounge where people come around to drink and relax. Some of the CWES students that came for CWES, where some of them, I think 3 or 4 in numbers, were privileged to be with us, and we were seeing a match, a football match. And after the first half, I told the 4 of them, no, I think during the first match, the first half of the match, I said, oh, you guys are going to write a new story for this match. If you see the look on their faces, I said, what? The countenances, the messages they were, passing across to me. I said, what? Like seriously? Like you guys, and I mean it. I called the coordinator of the CWES. And that radio I said, this is the assignment I'm giving them now, and it will be done in less than an hour. My dear, oh God, I pity some of our parents. Someone that will be promoted to ND2 cannot write a simple, the headline is even worrisome, cannot write a new story. A mass communication student of one of our higher institutions that I will mention the name here. In another couple of years, they will become graduates. Abi, let my people go. So tell me, are the employees employable? That is the question. And if some of them, are employable, and that was the message of Eta Henang, the senior assistant, special assistant on National Assembly. It's very simple. Until we stop doing what our people will call Ju Shaju, it's my brother, sister, son. It's my people. And you put them in
over competence or over someone who is more qualified.
More qualified. That is the one of the architects, root problems we are faced with in this country. When the foundation is destroyed, tell me now, what the righteous will build on now? And that is why we are crying out to the government, to our political office holders. Do the needful. Don't be a sycophant. We can't be rigmaroling on the spot. That can never be done.
And expect different
results. That is the definition of insanity, as been said by some of the great philosophers we have in the world. So if we want the status quo to change, then we have to inject the prerequisites needed to make adjustments.
Talking about injecting the prerequisites, we would want you to be more explicit and about that. So how better do you ponder or consider any government administration to provide for its workers effectively, significantly, at least to the barest minimum, where workers can after couple of months or couple of years say that the government is actually doing what it's meant to do?
Any responsive,
and I would also relate the incoming administration.
Thank you.
The critical areas that the administration should focus on.
MODUPE, without missing words here, any responsible and responsive government knows that to make its government works, it needs to engage, quote and unquote, the most competent technocrats and the qualified. I keep telling people, I do not need to go to school to have a sound mind. That was why I used the word. The competent technocrats I'm qualified. I might not go to any higher institution, and I'm qualified in my area of, professionalism.
That is.
Are you getting my point? Now, the workforce of any working nation, out of that 100% of the workforce, research has it that 70% are the youth. Now, the remaining 30% are the aged that are still under, within the retirement, age range. Now, this is it. What they do is just to motivate and show the roadmap to the upcoming ones. Are you getting my point? Until we begin to have the right and qualified personalities in our institutions, and until we begin to make the institutions work, then we are not ready to for the desired change we expect in this country. Now, for the incoming administration, I beg your pardon, I have known Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to be a dogged brain promoter. An idealist. Someone who has the mindset of developing human capacities. Thank you. He has proved himself worthy of that position as the president-elect while he was the executive governor of Lagos State between 1999 to 2007, as it were. The so-called leaders he has made with the help of God, today we could see how they have been able to contribute immensely to the betterment and the growth of our nation and our state respectively. And I know Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has a lorry load of technocrats that he will gainfully, engage into his administration, alongside with the help of, business conglomerates, magnates that we have in this country. The likes of, Aliko Dangote, Femi Otedola, the likes of them. It will bring them on board. Come, me, I be business-oriented, fellow. What can we do to, increase, the welfare and the well-being of our people through businesses, through innovations, through, technologies, through, and what have these? MODUPE, a child of 2 years old, is being surprised of a gift of a car. Of gift of a car.
2 years old.
2 years old. I can tell it. I am not a prophet. If he or she dares to enter inside that car to drive, you know what will happen?
Definitely.
He or she is not yet ripe to be gifted. That car is a gift. That's what we are saying. There are some unqualified personalities in the helm of affairs of the government that are not even supposed to be there in the first place, but na padi things. And that is what we are, and it's affecting the productivity of the nation.
All right. That being said, because of our time, quickly, what would be your charging words to workers out there? We're celebrating workers, and your advice to the government, to make the affairs of workers, a better one, so that in the next couple of months, years, workers can, have a conducive environment to even work with the government to make a better country or better nation in many years to come. So what is your advice to workers or charging notes, and your advice to the government quickly?
Thank you. With Ginamo's veneration and cachet, I respectfully put it out to the government workers now. Some couple of months ago, I had one or two engagements in the ministry, and I could see the lackadaisical attitudes of the government workers. Jobs left undone, and you see them grouping in one way or the other, discussing irrelevant things. After what? They will be paid at the end of the month. We take concern employee.
Money
Profits no come. Money come, money no come. They must be
because
paid.
we didn't even touch that.
So the lackadaisical attitudes of our workers, of the government workers, some will even pick their bags and their luggages by 2 p.m. They are already leaving. No one to checkmate. Even the boss that are supposed to be the head of that department is saying, quote and unquote. Some of his, junior colleagues, no one to scold except few of the directors. That will not permit me. That would stand on their toes and say,
work must be done.
You have to do this. You have to. No. Certain file that should be processed within a week would take 6 months. All in the name of brown envelope, one inducement form or the other. What were the aims and objectives, the ethical code of conduct of the job you signed to do? So on the part of the workers, I am appealing to them to let's have this collective, goals-oriented work environment that we can challenge one after, one another. That okay, this month we would surpass your committee, or we surpass your administration and your department. We would challenge department by department. You challenge one another.
On productivity.
Thank you. That is the only way we can say, okay, fine. This is the the return take of the money I'm earning through the job I am executing. So all the actions and inaction dissipated by our government workers, to some extent, is not commendable. So this is why I also want to use, in light of this, aforesaid, expressed notions, I want to put it to the government too. They should do all it will take to really make a friendly work atmosphere or environment for the workers. Motivate them with a pay rise, commend them on their good, actions, work done. Then let them know it will work if only they put in their best.
Put in your best, definitely you'll get the best of whatever you put your best into. That will be where we'll stop this morning on Periscope Rocks, on the Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv radio, TV and radio. Thank you so much, Honorable Ayomayami, for coming around this morning. It's really been a fantastic interaction.
Thanks for having me, and a short message to our people. It's part of our responsibilities to pray for our government, top political officers and our leaders. Nigeria would soon become what we want.
Great again. All right, thank you so much. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTv. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I remain MODUPE AKINYOSOYE. Do have a fantastic holiday. Good morning.